Hey there, welcome to the Impatient Entrepreneur Podcast, a show where we hear from entrepreneurs and business owners who are chomping at the bit to make their mark on the world. I'm your host, Lauren Quidar-Cockrell. Now, let's hurry up and get to the good stuff. Hi, friends. Welcome back. We have a unique scenario today because I met Ely, our guest for today, in person. He invited me on his show, Meet Cool People, which we literally just recorded. And now we're over here on the Impatient Entrepreneur. We are two impatient entrepreneurs just cranking it out this afternoon. And I can't wait for y'all to hear about my new friend, Ely. He is an email marketing architect, he says, wizard, I'll say. He's created something called the Follow-Up Rockstar System. I'm sure we'll get into that. Ely, well, thank you for being here and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. This is an awesome day. Like we get like 2 hours of time to get a chat and get to know each other even better. Awesome.
Lucky us.
Yeah.
So Ely, give us a little high-level overview of what it is that you do and how you're serving people with your email marketing wizardry.
Okay. Yeah. I like that you call it email marketing wizardry. That's kind of fun. So I've been in marketing for 30 years. My first company was a web and graphic design agency, and I took that from myself to a dining room to a office with 5 employees, closing 3 to 5 contracts a week. We're like killing it. And then I realized I didn't like going to an office and I didn't really like my employees either. So I burnt the whole thing down and started over. And over the years, I learned copywriting on my own because I had to, right? And what I ended up falling into was specifically email marketing became like my thing. That's what I love doing so much. And fast forward, I mean, I've done a ton of different stuff, but fast forward, what happened is I built, what I call the ultimate follow-up now, which is a piece of my Follow-Up Rockstar system. And I built it back in 2013, but I had kind of an original version of it that was really rudimentary before we had CRMs and fancy stuff. I mean, we didn't have QR codes, so I'm speaking. And what ended up happening was, I go speaking in front of maybe 100 people and I got 10 people credit card in hand ready to go. And I'm like, okay, what did I do wrong? 90 people walked out the door. And so I was like, other people are like, dude, you're rocking it. This is awesome. I'm like, what do you mean? I suck at this. And so I ended up building follow-up processes. And we were literally back in the day, we didn't have QR codes, mobile phone website, any of that kind of stuff. And I had half a piece of paper and I'm like, hey, fill this out. I'm going to give you some cool stuff. And that's how I built my list originally. And I had my follow-up process and it worked so well. I took it from 10% to as high as 30% close rates.
Wow. Because
of the fact that I built that follow-up process and those people that needed more time would come back 30, 60 days later. Well, I mean, if it's still the same event, but all I'm doing is following up with them, I'm going to follow up every time if I can triple my conversions.
Right.
So that's how it all started. Cool. These days, I've got it dialed down into a system that I help other clients with. I've been helping other clients for over 15 years with this and I have a blast with it. It's really fun. And it's designed to be simplistic, but very, very intricate and very, very intentional of how you follow up with your people. So it's stuff that I love doing. It's fun.
Do you have a specific group of folks that you are like niched down into serving, or is it across the board?
It's a little bit across the board. For the longest time, for like 17 years of all that, I was specifically coaches and speakers. And then 2020 happened. A whole bunch of people jumped into the coaching arena and they shouldn't be coaching a T-ball team, let alone adults. And I got kind of burned out on that because of people they just weren't good at what they were doing. And I didn't want to be part of that. I still help coaches out. I have some great coaches and speakers that I work with that are awesome, but I'm very limited on that. But what I found is that professional service businesses. So we're talking about people like money managers, family office, infinite banking, things like that tend to be really great clients. I love working with them. It is across the board. I have people in various different industries, but those are the ones I kind of draw to the most because they've been in business for a while. They're established. They're making money. They have a system that works, which means if we can get more clients to understand the power of that system, we can help those clients come on board, or those prospects come on board as clients, and everybody wins in the process. And I have fun with that, because these guys are usually the introverts that don't really know what to say. They want to go down to brass tacks, let's count beans. And I bring out the best of them, and they don't even realize all the wisdom that they have that they can share with other people.
Yeah, I find that certain groups really get hung up in like features and benefits, the speeds and feeds. It's like, whoa, okay, hold on. We got like, let's tap into humanity here.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, that's the stuff that I build is all about how do you build a stronger relationship so you can stay top of mind with everybody, but not become an annoying pest in the process.
Right. Yeah, nobody wants that, I hope. I get a few people in my inbox that need your services.
I understand.
Well, first official question. Eli, are you an impatient entrepreneur?
I am impatient. I like things to just get done. I have my ADHD kicks in pretty hard, where it's like I got the attention span of a gnat sometimes. So it's like, let's get in, let's get it done, let's go for it. I mean, no different than like you mentioned when you introduced me that we just did a back-to-back call for my show and now your show. And the whole reason that even happened was because you were already booked on the calendar for my show. And I go and I look and I'm like, okay, I have this window right here. I want to do this as soon as possible. And I clicked on it. I got it booked. And then I realized it was right after where your show was recording with mine. So that wasn't intentional that we were going to do back to back, but mine was, okay, I can either do it now or I can do it in 3 weeks because I'm slam packed in between. And I would much rather do it now.
Now is good.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
and we get to have a longer conversation. This is all sorts of fun.
All right. We're just buddies today. Is there anything in particular that you're impatient about right now?
What's actually the thing right now that I'm impatient about is I have probably 3 to 4 weeks ago, I wrote an outline for a new book. I haven't written a book in over a decade.
Wow.
I co-authored one with my previous partner, and then I wrote a second one by myself, and I just wasn't in the mood. Nothing was coming to me to write for all this time. And then something came to me, and now I'm impatient because I really want to get to writing it, but I'm slam packed. So my goal is, as of this recording, we're in November, the end of the month, I'm going to go spend some time with family, and I got my laptop. I'm going to spend some time writing while I'm there. So I might actually even get it done while I'm there, because
sounds dreamy.
I mean, the thing that's making me so impatient with it is the fact that I got the outline together, and the outline is so solid that it's going to be super easy for me to write. So I'm thinking like less than 2 hours per chapter, like significantly less. So I'm giving myself plenty of extra time on that. So we're talking 20 hours in and out and being done, just because the outline is so clean. And I'm just like, I don't know how that just popped out, but it is there.
Experience,
and it's ready
my friend.
to happen. So I'm excited about that. I haven't been this excited about writing a book in, like I said, a decade.
Nice. That's awesome. And do you have a publisher you work with? Are you on the self-publishing track? Talk us through that.
I'm getting the damn thing done first. Then we'll talk about that piece.
Gotcha.
I do have a couple of different routes that I can go. I know several publishers.
Sure.
The first 2 were done on a self-publishing route, so I can definitely go that. I do have a friend of mine is David Hancock, who's the owner of Morgan James Publishing. And I would really like to publish with him, and I know he would do it. I just got to look at, is it the right fit for this particular book? So
that's important.
But my thing is, I got all the ducks in a row. I got the phone numbers on speed dial ready to go. I just need to write it first. I'm not even going to talk to any of them until the transcript or the manuscript is done, and then we'll approach that piece.
Right. Smart. How do you fuel yourself? Do you read other books? You have a podcast, you listen to other podcasts. I know you go to events. Like how do you fuel yourself to be the leader and business owner that you are?
All of the above. I do read. Sometimes I get distracted and don't read near as much as I should. I have a pile of about 20 books sitting on my dining room table right now, with the one that's almost finished at the top of the list. So my goal is to get through them all. That's on point. So I do read. I definitely listen to podcasts. I don't listen to them a lot, just for the fact that I only listen to podcasts while I'm driving, and I work from home. So I have a home office here. So I don't, if I'm driving, I will read, but you can only get through so much of a podcast when you're only driving 3 minutes away to the local Dutch Brothers. I got my morning coffee. I'm good. But yeah, I do that. Events are huge. I'm a big advocate for going to events, whether they're conferences. I used to do a ton of conferences, but I also was a speaker for a ton of stuff. I don't do as much of that these days. And honestly, a lot of it has to do with when I moved here to the DFW area. There's so much here that I don't really need to travel so much.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm plugged into the right people that my calendar is slam packed sitting right here in front of a camera and my computer.
Right.
I mean, this is call 5 today. I got one more after we finish this one. And that's not uncommon. I've had two coaching calls, 2 podcasts, and then 2 virtual coffees set up just for today. Woo. That's not uncommon. I got a podcast tomorrow. I lead one group. I'm part of another group. I mean, this is like so common for me now that just getting around other people and having conversations is like the biggest thing that fuels me.
Right. And that's how we met.
Absolutely.
Do you get most of your clients from speaking at events, or is
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's an absolute yes. I do get some clients from networking, connecting through like Success Champions, which is the organization that does the event you and I met at. But I honestly, even with like that, those a lot of times have opened up doors for me to potentially get speaking opportunities, but the speaking itself is where the clients generally come from most of the time.
And what are your talk tracks that you're sharing?
Variations about how to be anti-salesy.
Good.
That's really the pitch. Yes. It's all about how do you have a conversation, being anti-salesy, staying top of mind. Because the principles that I teach are based around email marketing, because that's my forte. But the principles go into everything we do in life. The guy that walks up to you at a networking event is like basically shakes your hand with his business card in the hand, or slips up behind you and sticks his card in your pocket. I've seen that happen one time. It was like very creepy.
Please don't touch me.
It's like, I'm a hugger, but you can't do that. But that's where my presentation is really about. How do you stay in touch with people, top of mind awareness, add value, build the relationship, build the communication, have a conversation with them, all where it has nothing to do with you pitching your stuff. Because the reality is, if you've done your job right, people will know what you do and how you do it and how you can help them. You just need to stay in front of them so they don't forget about you. You don't have to shove it down their throats all the time.
Preach.
And so and I have a very specific methodology that I created around that process that works like a charm.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. So switching gears a little bit and heading into our vulnerability corner. You've been in business for a while, and you've burned the boats.
We covered that part of the story, didn't
we? You've been around the block a couple times, my friend. What in your history, what's something that's happened where you're going along, things are trucking, and then the rug gets pulled out from underneath you and you think, well, crap, not sure we're going to survive that. But then ultimately it becomes one of the best things that could have happened to you.
Yeah. This is like the biggest pivot that's happened more recently. I mean, I've been in, I like to call them economic shifts that have happened over the years. I mean, my first company I started in 95. That was my web and graphic design agency. So yeah, I have been around for a while. It's really scary to think about how long I've been in business.
My goodness.
But the biggest shift, and this is more recent, this was 2019. 2019 was my best year ever. I was killing it, traveling around the country, speaking. I'm on a plane at least once, if not 2 or 3 times a week or a month. Not a week.
There's a week. I was like, whoa.
No, not quite a week. They might have all been in 1 week, but per month at minimum once, if not 2 or 3 times. And we were doing great, ready for the next year. Would have probably, I guesstimate it conservatively almost 3x based on the flow that we were going with everything. And then obviously, 2020 comes around and the plague takes over the world and shuts everything down. And the thing for me was I got hit from that because I had speaking gigs that got canceled. But the beauty of it is, at the time, I was around a certain level of entrepreneurs that they're just like, okay, I guess we're going virtual. And they're all scrambling to figure it out. So they had virtual summits and stuff like that. So I literally, like, within the first week, maybe 2 weeks, I had 14 gigs booked virtually. Like the world shuts down and I'm booked more than I was before.
I don't have to fly you out now.
Yeah. It's like, I don't have to fly anywhere, which is great. I'm like, I can do it all from right here. Nice. So that happened. But the reality is that, I got hit financially from it because sales were a different creature on virtual versus as it is in person easily. But what ended up happening was fast forward a few months and my 30-year relationship came to a head. And that was a very hard situation. It was a 4-hour conversation that ended in separation. The problem was that she was part of the business. And so we had to figure out what that was going to look like, rebuilding the business without her. And how are we going to really truly separate? Because again, we've been together for 30 years. Yeah. So that was a pretty rough situation. And as we were trying to get that figured out, she got diagnosed with a brain tumor. And so giving you kind of the quick and dirty, fast version of all this stuff, emergency surgery, chemo, radiation, I shut the business down for 4 months, pretty much wiped me out physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, and any other kind of lead that you can come up with. Yeah. It was a mess. And so fast forward, what ended up happening was I decided that at the time I lived in Portland, Oregon. And fast forward, she had moved out the week that I decided I was going to move. I decided to move from Portland, Oregon to Dallas, Fort Worth. I had tried a couple of different places and Dallas just felt like the right place for me. And I wanted to go someplace that was very business oriented. Like I wanted to dive deep into it. And Dallas won, which was great. It was awesome. I love it here. And so I moved here 22, towards the end, it was October in 22. As I was leaving Portland, I get the phone call that she passed away. And so spent a week with my daughter, helping her deal with her mom passing away. And then I come to Dallas with no family, no friends, less than $5,000 cash. Oh my gosh. And everything else completely wiped out. Wow. And it was a mess. I was the darkest I've ever been in my life. Yeah. Ultimately, there were a couple of things that helped me keep going. I stumbled somehow down the rabbit hole of Bushido, which is the code of the samurai. And are you familiar with Stoicism at all? Yep. Okay. Yep. So Stoicism is, for Greek philosophy and essentially, and it basically talks about how to react to things that happen to you. And I had already studied that for a bit, but then I come across Bushido, and Bushido has the 7 virtues, and basically they are how to act. And so the two kind of really go side by side with each other. And I got down that, and that study helped me get through the stuff that was going on. Ultimately, we fast forward a couple of years now, and I've been here for 3 years as of last month. And I'm a totally different person. Back then, I'll be perfectly honest, I did not think I was going to make it. And I have, I rebuilt the business. I'm in a really happy place with the business. I love it. I have a new business based around Bushido that I actually am starting to launch. Cool. I'm pretty excited about getting that out. Again, writing a new book, that's something I haven't done in a decade. And a lot of it has to do with we have to be in those situations of just truly rebuilding ourselves. And it took a lot out of me, but it also made me very, very, very much appreciate things in a very different light than I'd ever had. And so I am, I wake up every day and the very first thing I do is write 5 things that I'm grateful for. And I think that's such a powerful, powerful tool for people. Absolutely. I've hit the ups and downs over the years, but this one was the one that almost took me out. Yeah. And I can still say the number one thing is the gratitude for people and appreciating what's there and looking for opportunities. And that's what's put me in the position I am today, which I'm loving. I'm loving my business. It's evolved even just recently, last couple of months, it's evolved again. And this is a place that I'm very, very happy with. And it's making me, excited about what I do again, which is awesome.
What a story. I mean, kudos to you for hitting the bottom of the swimming pool and pushing off of it, swim back up again. I mean,
Thank you.
That's a lot. Not everybody has quite the depth of despair that you really had to tap into there.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's so funny. I tell people that, and I have people that they just look me dead in the eye with this blank stare. Go, are you in therapy? And I'm like, well, no, but I have a few friends that I owe a really nice steak dinner
to. I'm listening to Brene Brown's new book right now called Strong Ground, and it in the beginning of it, she shares a quote from Rob Bell, I think, where he defines despair as tomorrow is going to be the same as today. And I think when you have something to look forward to, when you're excited about something, when you have things to be grateful for, I mean, that really does help you just claw your way back up to the top. And oh man, I hope it's sunny skies from here on out.
Well, thank you. And and it's so true, because for me, the gratitude piece was the real kicker that put things into perspective. Because I'm always like, there were days, and I always tell people, it's like, you have to write, and this is literally first thing you do when you get out of bed, write down 5 things you're grateful for. And there's a couple of things with that. Number one is you want it first thing, because from that point forward, you're teaching your brain to look for good. To look for things to be grateful for. So you're looking for opportunities. The second thing is you can't do 1, you can't do 3, you got to do 5, because 1 is easy. 2, you can practice, you can stretch your brain a little bit. 3, maybe a little bit, but 5, there are days where 5 were so freaking hard that, I mean, literally it's like, I'm grateful for the mocha that I'm going to go buy, and that's, and it's such a simple thing we take for granted, but the mocha, the people around you, is like one of the things. Like my daughter is on that list every day, and you just look at that, and doesn't matter how bad things are, if you can find 5 things to be grateful for, you're putting yourself in the right direction, and people will notice. That's a big difference. That's the thing that for me, that was a big thing, because I was shattered, at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And nowadays, I mean, confidence is back. I'm speaking all over. I'm speaking on stages, like starting to travel again and do that, and having a blast with it. I'm loving what I'm doing. And I get people that just come up to me like, God, you're so busy. You're doing so many cool things. And I'm just like, you think about where I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it's a whole different creature.
Right. My goodness. Yeah. I just to co-sign the gratitude thing there. There are days where I'm just like, you grab your phone first thing in the morning. I'm like, I'm not allowed to touch it until I've laid here and told myself what I'm grateful for.
Now I do cheat a little bit. I use my phone to write those things down. But I do want to see them physically on there. And I use Notion as I have a Notion database that I have designed for this process. And it's cool. I'm even actually designing a new Notion template as a journal type of piece for my Bushido stuff. And the whole point is to make sure that that's like your first step of the day, because I want it documented. For me personally, I want it documented so I can go back and look at those things. And look at how things progress over time. Right.
Very cool. Okay. So when you were a kid, first of all, when you were a kid, were you an entrepreneur? Did you make some money when you were a kid?
So there's a joke that my mom tells people, is like, when I was a kid, I was in 2nd grade, I think. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking, but there was a joke about I had decided to come up with instant water.
Okay.
And I designed kind of like, Kool-Aid packets, the paper packets you tear open, right?
Yep.
I designed one of those and made the packets myself, glued the package together and everything. And then I put a little bit of sugar in it and I sold it. And I sold it with instant water, just add water. And it was the goofiest thing. I mean, definitely not ethical by any means, but I was a kid. I didn't know better back then.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing was at one point I got in trouble for this. And my mom gets a call from the school and she's like, so your son is selling instant water packets to the kids. And my mom's just like, really? And how many of these things has he sold? And I don't know what the number was, but I sold quite a few of them.
Yeah.
And she's like, and they're dumb enough that they're actually buying it?
Yeah, it's like, this doesn't feel like a me problem.
Yeah. And that was kind of, she thought it was the funniest thing.
Nice.
So she supported me in the fact that she thought everybody else were idiots, which was entertaining. But that was where you could kind of say, yes, I had the entrepreneur thought back then. Growing up past that, I was, wasn't until I was 20. I mean, I did some independent stuff. Like even when I was 14, I had my first job, which was considered an independent contractor, washing vans for a company my dad worked for at the time. It was kind of like a UPS type of company. But then when I ended up moving to Phoenix, I had gotten into web design and I started my first business. And it was funny because the word entrepreneur comes up and I'm like, what's that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 21 and I didn't know what the word entrepreneur was. I think I was probably 25 before I could spell the damn thing. But
still trips me up.
Yeah, it does me too. We're so glad for spell check.
Yeah, where does the U go?
But it was, I always had that thing because I always felt like I was not right working in a job. And the last real job that I had, my boss comes in and she goes, you know what, this is not working out. And I'm like, you know what, I think you're right. My parents are coming to visit for Thanksgiving. Why don't we make Friday my last day? And we both agreed I was completely unemployable. And that's when I really jumped in. It was like,
you're a real entrepreneur.
I'm a real entrepreneur. I'm wired different and I can't deal with other people's weirdness and stupid.
Yeah.
So that's really how I had it. I mean, I had times where I would work for other people, but they didn't listen. It's like, okay, you are wrong. Here is the right way. Here's the alternative. Here's why your thing won't work. They're like, we're going to do it my way anyway. And then my checks are bouncing. And I was like, yeah, no, we're not going to play this game anymore. And so that's when I went out on my own. Yeah. And I've loved it ever since. And
very cool.
Like I said, it's been over 30 years.
Yeah. So also when you were a kid, was there a personality trait of yours that people either told you like, Eli, you need to work on this, or you just perceived it as, perhaps a weakness, but today as a leader and an entrepreneur, you realize it's actually a superpower?
I don't know about that. I don't know about as a kid. There was one trait that did come in that I feel is actually my superpower, but it wasn't really it really wasn't known. My mom brought this up before, is I attract people. Like it's like, I always joke about, I collect people, just not in a Dexter kind of way.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I put that out there. It's so funny because if I say that in front of an audience, like you see the people who get it, they've watched it, they snicker. And then there's other people with the dead look on their face. They don't understand. I'm like, go to Netflix, take a look. Yeah. Trust me, you only need one episode to get it.
You're right. Just a preview.
Yeah. But I've had this skill that I'm very proud because it's taken me very far. And it's a piece of it is compassion. I am really good about listening to people especially like in that one-on-one, especially with people who are awkward, like the introverts. Like I am actually a hardcore introvert and people don't believe that until they really talk to me. But I taught myself how to not be an introvert. And so when I walk into a room, I can see the one that's sitting there like a scared dog in a corner and walk up to them, start talking to them, make them feel comfortable. And next thing I got a great friend who I can't get him to leave my side. This
is me. I clung to you.
Yeah. Well, and that's
and I was like, hello, hi, you're my new friend. I'm holding on to your arm. Thank you.
Yeah. And it's cool. I love that I can do that. And for me, it's cool that I can get that look with somebody, like somebody feels comfortable, because that's what I want. I want people to feel comfortable.
Right.
And so that's been my superpower, is the ability to collect people, connect with them on a level that makes them feel comfortable, even if they're in a situation that they're not comfortable with. Several years back, it was actually in 2020 when all the virtual stuff kicked in. A friend of mine she'd put together this show, like a mini summit kind of thing that she did every month. And then she got into like 100 shows. She brought everybody back, did this whole award ceremony, all kinds of stuff. And she came up with a title for me that I thought was really cool. And I clung onto it, which was the People Whisperer.
Oh, sweet.
And it just, to me, it felt right, because that's kind of how I feel. It's like, people who are hard to communicate with, that are socially awkward, those are the people that I can have some really great conversations with. And I'm like, you are completely off your rocker. You're weird. And I don't understand half of what you're saying, but we're going to be okay anyway. Let's have a good conversation. And
show me you're weird. Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's my superpower, I think.
Sweet. Okay. So, what is a piece of advice that you can give our listeners to make their lives and businesses stronger and better today?
Master communication. Learning how to really talk to people and really listen to people.
Yes, that is the key part.
That's the key part. It has to go both ways. You can't just listen and not talk. Some people think that it's like, oh, I'm a great listener. But then if you don't say anything, it doesn't really do any good anyway, because communication is a two-way street.
Right.
And it has to be that way. And so I can say the number one skill that I learned, especially when I got into entrepreneurship, was how to network, how to communicate with people, how to like getting on stage has been phenomenal for me. And I love doing it. And still as an introvert, I so many people talk about the fact I could never do what you do because I'm an introvert. It's like, well, so am I. But I love, I always joke about the fact I am like the perfect anti-poster child for don't talk to strangers, because I will talk to anybody. But at the same time, it's a one-on-one conversation I do great in. You put me in a crowd of people, and that's where I start getting twitchy. Yeah. Right. And so if you can understand that, like, and if you're sitting there and you're an introvert trying to figure out, okay, how do I do all this stuff, especially like this networking or going to events that I don't want to do. If you can figure those things out and figure out how to do them for you, it will be massively powerful. Like, it's just phenomenal how far you can go just if you have real communication skills. Because once you get that down, life comes right to you. No kidding. I hear that. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Where can our friends find you? Easy way. Go to connectwithely.com, and Ely is ELY. So connectwithely.com. You can find all my social medias. You can even book on my calendar if you want. My other websites with all the miscellaneous stuff, even my archery stuff. And I even have some cool freebie stuff on there. Like, I don't even know what I got up there right now, and it'll probably change at some point anyway. So we'll make sure it's in the show notes. All the cool stuff that I got, that's the best place to connect with me. Again, connectwithely.com. All right. Thank you, Ely. So good to see you. I'm glad I could spend my afternoon with you. I appreciate it. This has been fun.
Thanks for listening to The Impatient Entrepreneur. Love the podcast? Be sure to share it with a friend or colleague, or give us a 5-star review on Apple. You can also chat with us on Instagram or Facebook at The Impatient Entrepreneur Pod. Want to star on a future episode? Head over to theimpatientrepreneur.com to inquire. Thank you to the team at Quidar & Co. for believing in me and bringing this podcast to life. And thank you to Carson Childers for mixing and editing this episode. Can't wait to see you next time.